Hello guitar lovers, Jay Boone from Emerald City Guitars down here in lovely Pioneer Square, and I'm here with my pick of the day. And today I have a 1950 only year Fender Broadcaster. And this guitar has quite a story behind it. We actually have 3 Broadcasters in our store right now, which is very unusual, seeing that they only made a little over 200 of these guys in 1950 before Gretsch came after Leo about the name Broadcaster. Gretsch had the rights to that name and more or less forced Leo to abandon the Broadcaster and come up with a new name for his new Fender electric guitar. So this guy here is just a really cool guitar with a fascinating story. First of all, super light. This thing weighs 6 pounds, 10 ounces. I just put it on the scale over there, which is a fairly lightweight electric guitar. This guitar came out of Eastern Washington about, I guess maybe 3 years ago. This gentleman brought this in, and he had someone come into a music store he was working in over in Eastern Washington, and this was probably 30 years ago when he was working at the store, and these people had found this guitar in a box in the basement of a church with kind of the electronics hanging out of it and kind of bits and pieces, like somebody had started working on it and had abandoned it. And they found it in there, and they brought it into this music store where this gentleman was working, and he said he ended up trading them a drum set for it. And so for the next couple years, he got the guitar all together and he had it actually refinished, had a new pickguard put on it, and I've got part of the old pickguard here, the original pickguard, and as you can see, about half of it is missing, but this is the original Broadcaster pickguard. So when this guy brought me this guitar a couple years ago, it more or less, body-wise and everything, looked a lot like a new Telecaster. I didn't like the finish on it, but I mean, I took it all apart and knew it was an original Broadcaster. You know, the big dots close together at the 12th fret, the very distinctive tuners on this particular era, 1950, and just everything about this guitar was right. He had new pots in it, new switch, the pickups were original, the bridge was original serial number on it and everything. So the meat and potatoes and everything was there. So we ended up selling this to a gentleman a couple years ago, and I hooked him up with Eric Daw, who's my guitar tech down here for 15 years, and Eric now has moved back to Idaho and has his own shop back there. He builds pin-up Telecasters and Strats and cool line guitars, hand-built guitars by Eric, and he does his own pickups. And so I had this guy send this out to Eric, and Eric did a really cool, more authentic nitro finish on it that turned out really great. And Eric also sourced original 50s pot, switch, and just basically brought it back to speed. So right now, the only thing not proper on this guitar is the pickguard. And you can see Eric even made this cool pickguard for it, and it looks pretty authentic, but it's not. And the finish that Eric did. So we have, I mean, the pickups, tuners, components are all from 1950 at this point, and it's, so he brought it back to life. So at this point it's a refinished Broadcaster, and a really cool refin on this. If you look at the neck's still all there, original finish on that neck, original logo. The neck hasn't been doinked with at all. So it's a body refin only. Has been refretted at one point along the line. Frets are really nice on it. They're not like huge jumbo frets or anything. There's the really kind of proper era type fret. Really nice nut on it, aged, and you know, it's a replacement, but it looks great. This is just all around just a fantastic original 1950 refinished Broadcaster. And the bridge pickup sounds really snappy, really nice. And it's the original wind on that, as is the neck pickup. Knobs, switch tip, everything. Really usable, cool, collectible guitar at a fraction of the price of an all original Broadcaster. So if you want to add this to your arsenal, this would be definitely one I would consider. So today, we're going to be plugging this Broadcaster into this really cool original 1966 Blackface Deluxe Reverb. And this baby's all there. The speaker was reconed by local legend Gordy Chelberg, who just does a fantastic job on these vintage speakers. So yeah, man, we're going to plug this in today and see what this old Broadcaster sounds like. So there you have it, my pick of the day, an original 1950 body refin only Broadcaster. Thanks for tuning in. See you next time.